What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today you join us at our parents' house. I'm going to be taking the 4Runner out here soon. We got Brian in the driveway. He's working on the GTR. Not sure when that video is going up, Brian, but definitely check it out because he's doing a cool mod for the GTR. Of course, we got Maddie Doodle helping us out. Are you ready to go for a ride in the 4Runner? Huh? Do you want to go for a ride in the 4Runner? Okay, you ready to go? You ready to go? You ready? This is Maddie's favorite part, going for a ride in the 4Runner. I think this is why our dad likes the 4Runner too, because Maddie can easily get in and get out. She's got her own little area back here.
Designated dog car.
Yeah, and the fact that the back glass goes down, because this is a pretty cool part of having the 4Runner. It's one of the only vehicles that has the window that does this. So you can just insert the key. I believe you turn it to the left to go down. Hey! And then you can easily have Maddie there. You don't have to open the tailgate and she can easily be able to see out. And yeah, and then you just go the other way. All right, watch your face, Mad. Put your head back. Good girl. All right, you ready, Maddie? Hey, what are you doing there? So I did put the middle seat down so she could come up here. Come here, come here. But usually they have that middle seat up. So it's not too often that I'm in the 4Runner, but thanks to my dad for letting me take it out to do a review on it. And the reason I wanted to do a review, a lot of you guys have asked for it, but also this is his 2016 and he's at 73,150 miles. As you can see, my Tacoma back there is a 2017. I only have 19, well, no, I got like 21,000 miles on that. So my dad definitely drives this and uses it every single day. So he's not gonna be with me today, but I got a list of things that he loves and doesn't love about this since he's had it almost 3 years now, I think. How you doing, Maddie? You excited to go for a ride? Come here, girl. She's so funny. Oh, she loves going for a ride in the car, as pretty much any dog does. And the one thing that's funny is, Maddie, sit down, girl. Sit down. She'll sit down in one of these seats as if she was a person. Sit down, girl. Good girl. Before we get into what my dad likes and doesn't like about the 4Runner, I'm just gonna go over a couple things that I like. Maddie, sit down, girl. Sit down. You gotta sit down for the video. I can't keep looking back, Maddie.
Sit down.
All right. One thing that I really like about the 4Runner is the fact that it's one of the few SUVs that's body-on-frame construction, which I really like. It's not the unibody that most newer SUVs are coming out with. Even with the body-on-frame, I like how it rides. It's not a harsh ride going over some of these bridge bumps. It's a really smooth, comfortable ride. I think my dad that's why he likes it, daily driving it. It's nothing harsh, it just feels like a normal vehicle. I'm not in this too often, but I'm a Toyota fan, as you know. I'm on my second Tacoma. This is actually my dad's second 4Runner. He had a 2007 for, I don't know, 7-8 years, I think, and he put 150,000 miles on that. He's at 73,000 now, so I'm not sure how much longer he's going to keep this, but if he gets rid of it, it might not be for a new 4Runner. It might be for the Ford Bronco or something else. So I'm excited to see what his replacement is for it. But other than that, I think it's a really cool SUV. I like that window, as you saw earlier, especially having a dog or loading groceries or something into it. You can easily get in and not have to open the tailgate. One thing that I don't like about the 4Runners is how small the center screen is. It's much larger on my truck, and then even in the new 2020 Tacomas, the screen is just a little bit larger. You can get a larger screen in the 2020 4Runners as well. You doing good, Maddie? Normally she sits down on long rides, but maybe she's just doing it for the camera, huh, Maddie? Can you sit down, girl? Maddie, sit down. So now moving on to the list of things that my dad doesn't like about his 4Runner. I'm gonna start off with the seats. He does not like the fact that these are not real leather. These are the Softex material. I think Toyota calls them Softex leather, but it is fake leather. It's not real, and he doesn't like them because they're not heated or cooled. So especially in the hot weather conditions, the seats do get really sweaty, and obviously that's, you know, you can get your shirt stuck to your back, and it's just not comfortable to drive. So that's one thing he never liked from the beginning. Even though he did buy this, it was one thing that just, I mean, they're okay, they're comfortable, they have a nice material to them, it's easy to clean off things on them. But that's not just his preference. He either wanted cloth or the real leather, and in order to get leather in the 4Runner, you had to go to the Limited, which had a whole bunch of bells and whistles he just didn't want. So he had to go with this trim level, and it came with these seats. miles. He drives probably 20,000 miles a year, so by the end of next year, he's going to be closing in on 100,000, which is pretty crazy. Huh, Maddie? Huh? You've been in this a long time, huh? Actually, we had Maddie when we got the 4Runner, so you've been in this for 73,000 miles, huh? What do you think of it? You like it? Huh? What are you doing up here? You feel like you're the king? Huh? Standing up on the seat there? All right, moving on to the second thing on the list. That is brakes. Let's see, brake system locks up and it's too hard. So I'm not going to do it with the dog in here, but I've had some experience with my dad doing this. If you have to really slam on the brakes, he says everything locks up. Other vehicles would do that too, but he doesn't like how it works in this particular vehicle. Everything locks up. I think the ABS lights kick on and some other things like that. So he doesn't like the braking system. And then this does have a pretty good brake dive to it, so when you slam on the brakes, the whole front is going to shift forward. Not that he has to slam on the brakes a whole lot, I don't think, but that's one thing that if he has to, he doesn't feel like it's in control. Like, he can stay in control of the vehicle, but he doesn't feel like it has the stability that you're looking for when you come to a hard stop. If you have to come to a complete stop, obviously you want to be in control of the vehicle. Let's move on to the transmission. So while this has 73,000 miles on it, Toyotas in general are very reliable. I don't experience anything right now, but my dad says that every so often there will be some kind of transmission thump or click or some kind of weird engagement, and I really can't describe anything else more on that, simply because it feels fine right now. So maybe it's slow speed situations or just going in between the gears. Maddie, I'm gonna need you to sit down, girl. We're going around turns. Can you sit down? Maddie, sit. You sit. Sit down. She's more well-behaved than this. I don't know why. It's because the cameras are on you, huh, Mad? Next up on the list is related to the towing of this vehicle, specifically the trailer hitch or the light connection in the back bumper. He doesn't like how it's up underneath because this is his towing vehicle. We have a utility trailer and a boat, and obviously he needs this to do that if I don't have the Tacoma available. I know on my Tacoma the connection is on the top of the bumper, so that's easily out of the way. If I'm going off-road or something, I don't have to worry about that. On my 07 Tacoma, it was actually up underneath the bumper as well, and I didn't like that. I tore it off going off-road, so I know where he's coming from having it up underneath. It does make it a little bit hard to stretch the wire. You really have to have a long enough cable to get it. So if you are using a 4Runner to tow, that's just something that he doesn't really like as much. So maybe the newer generation or his next vehicle will have a better setup like that. Next up, what I want to talk about is the oil filter on the engine of this vehicle. So like you guys know, if you're not a subscriber, we do pretty much everything ourselves. And we learned that from our dad. So he was a huge influence in working on our own vehicles, working on the house. We watched him build a lot of add-ons on our own house. They built one of their houses by themselves, which was pretty cool to be a part of the process on. So we are a do-it-yourself family. If there's something that we can't do, we'll try. And if we really can't do it or we don't have the right tools, then we'll bring it into a shop. But my dad has a wide variety of tools, and it's just an awesome shop that he allows us to use the tools, so that's pretty awesome. So we learned a lot from him, which was cool. One thing that he doesn't like, getting back to the oil filter here, is that changing the oil himself takes a lot longer than on his 07. The oil filter, just like on my Tacoma, is mounted up underneath the skid plates. So that just means you have to get down on the ground, you have to get the skid plates off, you have to find where it is, reach up there, get it, and then obviously you can change it. On the 07, on his 07 4Runner, my 07 Tacoma, the oil filter was up on top, so we could open up the hood, loosen it up, just do the oil plug underneath, and change it in about 15 minutes. Now it takes him about an hour, so that's a good inconvenience, especially with 73,000 miles. He changes the oil every 10,000 miles, I think. So that's 7 oil changes he's had to do, and it's just not something that he, I guess, enjoys doing as much, getting on the ground and crawling up underneath the vehicle. So let's move on to things that my dad absolutely loves about the 4Runner, and the first thing is the get up and go. That's the first thing that he said. He loves the 4Runner. He loves the get up and go and the power in it. So I know the Tacoma is pretty sluggish in a sense. I'm not going to do anything crazy in this. Maddie, hold on, girl. Well, we're just going to step on it a little bit. I mean, It does have more horsepower than my Tacoma. I'd have to double check on the numbers there. I think it's 265 roughly, but I'm up to the speed limit just like that. I do think that Tacoma is a little bit more sluggish than this, but getting up to the speed just like that, even with the dog, I didn't have to make her lose her balance or get unstable or anything, so you're still just chilling there, huh? Hold on, Maddie, ready? We're gonna do an acceleration here. You need to sit down. So there's 30, there's 40, and there's 50. And we went to about 4,200 RPM, so I would agree with him. It has good get up and go, which again is good for his towing when he has to use that. You being a good girl now? She finally sat down. That's awesome. She loves sitting in the seats like that, which I don't think my dad likes. She's normally in the back, but I gave her a little bit of leeway today. Last up on his list for things that he likes is the four-wheel drive. Doesn't go off-roading with this like we do on the Tacoma. I think it would be cool to do, but just not his style. The four-wheel drive is more for having to pull the boat out of a boat ramp, you know, if it's wet or slippery or something. But he does need it if it snows, getting out of the driveway, anything like that. So while he doesn't use it a lot, it's a good kind of backup that he has if he does need it. So those are his overall likes and dislikes on the 4Runner. I think it's a really good SUV. He puts like 40 or 50 miles on it a day, so he's in it a good bit throughout the week. But I think the dislikes that I mentioned, they don't really outweigh his love for the 4Runner. He really likes it. It's a great commuter. I think one thing else that I didn't mention and I didn't ask him was the MPG. He doesn't really like, it doesn't get the best MPG, especially with how much he drives. I think he averages around 17 or 18. I can't find it on the dash, and you think I would since I have a Tacoma, but the steering wheel buttons are a little different. I don't have side like this and then controls on the other, so I honestly have no idea how to change the center screen in order to see that. So that's one thing that he doesn't really like is the MPG, but it's a truck. He doesn't need a car. It doesn't get featured on the channel that much, simply because, you know, it's not our vehicle, it's his. So when we do videos on it, it's something specific, like a review or a modification that he'll do on it. He doesn't do a lot of mods like we do, but he likes everything to be functional. So if he puts something on here, it's gonna have a purpose, it's gonna have a function to it, something that he's actually going to use, and not just for looks. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for our review on the 4Runner, huh, Maddie? Do you like it? You're such a good girl. Well, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.